I am attracted to women of the attractive variety. That is my conundrum. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Rank Everything, show where we rank everything. I'm your host, Ryan, and today, one second. Sorry about that. I'm your host, Ryan, and today, recommended by just some random alt account, -F4F. We have ranking all the mythical Pokemon based on who would be in therapy the longest. Thank you for your suggestion. So, I don't know a lot about Pokemon. I watched the show when I was a kid, that kind of stuff. One second. Thought I was going to sneeze again. Right, I watched the show when I was a kid. I remember liking it, but like it wasn't my favorite show. But I don't know a lot about Pokemon or these Pokemon. Like I recognize some of them, some names I've always sort of known, but the newer ones, got no clue. But yeah, we're going to be going over which ones would be in therapy the longest. Our tiers for today are, here at the bottom we have They Don't Go. Oh man, the sneezes. From there, we've got They Go Once. Then, from there, we've got They Go A Few Times. And then we have many years. Pokemon who spend many years in therapy. And then finally, we have the rest of their life. These are Pokemon who are going to be spending the rest of their lives in therapy. So yeah, I don't know a lot about most of these Pokemon, but I do have a list here with me of, them, like brief descriptions and stuff like that. Interesting facts about them. But first up, we have Mew. So Mew, and of course, the reason why Mew is special is because it's believed that Mew has. It contains the genetic codes of all Pokemon in its DNA. And then, of course, they used Mew to make Mewtwo, and it's like the perfect life form and whatnot. Okay. So in everything I've seen of like Mew in the like the past show when I watched it, it always seems like it's a pretty happy. Like it always seems like Mew always seems like it's in a good mood. Life couldn't be better than this. Having experiments done on you is probably pretty traumatic though. But I'm just going to say that Mew goes a few times. Celebi. First discovered in the Johto region, it is referred to as the guardian of forests, protecting and nourishing them as it travels through time. Okay. Celebi shares a special connection with the Elex Forest in Johto and the Agate Village's Relic Forest in Ore, having the Elex Forest Shrine and the relic stones as monuments to honor it in those respective areas. A shiny Celebi plays a major role in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time, Darkness and Sky, serving as a friend and ally to Grovyle. Okay, so it protects the forests, and it can travel through time. So what I'm imagining is that Celebi's probably seen the forests be mistreated a lot for however long it's been living and other stuff like that. And so what I would say is that the trauma of watching your home or this place that you love get destroyed or burned down or anything like that gotta be a pretty traumatic thing that you would need help to work through. And considering that Celebi can literally travel through time, I want to say that Celebi spends many years in therapy. After Celebi, we have Jirachi. Mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Hoenn region, said to be able to grant any wishes written on the tags on its head when it wakes up, which it only does for 7 days once every 1,000 years. If in danger, however, it can fight without waking up. Okay, so So not much to worry about immediately, because it sleeps for 1,000 years, and they say that sleep is some of the best therapy that you can get, or something. I don't fucking know. So, yeah, but it spends 1,000 years sleeping, and it's only awake for a week. And I mean, a lot of bad can happen in a week's time. But considering that Jirachi is going to be asleep for 1,000 years, I'm not really sure that it can go to therapy very often. Jirachi goes once. Jirachi goes exactly one time. Okay, let's see. After Jirachi is Deoxys. Deoxys is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Hoenn region. It mutated from a space virus when exposed to a laser beam. It is able to change its form, altering its appearance and traits. The crystal on its chest acts as its brain, as well as a defense mechanism. Although it retained a base stat total of 600, Deoxys was the first mythical Pokemon to have a base stat distribution other than 100 in every stat. Let's see. Okay, now it's talking about like Rayquaza and stuff. Okay. So, let's see. Deoxys. So it mutated. Gosh. It mutated from a space virus when exposed to a laser beam. So does that mean it started as a space virus and got turned into a Pokemon? Which I guess would make it another sort of man-made Pokemon. The one thing I know about Deoxys is that apparently Deoxys and Rayquaza have major beef. Like, it's just on site every time with those two is what I've heard and seen, sort of. And we've got all of Deoxys' forms, I guess, but I'm just going to put all of them in the same spot. So, let's see. It doesn't really seem like Deoxys has much going on. Like, it just kind of... Yeah, I'm going to say Deoxys does not go to therapy. Doesn't need it or something. Okay, so... Manaphy, or I guess it's Manaphy and Phione. Sea Guardians are a duo of mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Sinnoh region. Manaphy are born on cold sea floors, also swimming great distances to return to their birthplace, and are born with a wondrous power to bond with any kind of Pokemon. While Phione live in warm seas using the inflation sac on their heads to search for food and to drift in packs, always returning to the place of their birth. Oh, Manaphy and Phione have the unique ability among mythical Pokemon to breed with Ditto in captivity to produce Phione. Phione cannot, however, evolve into Manaphy. Pokemon Legends Arceus is the only game in which Phione can be caught. In all other games, the only legitimate way to obtain one in-game is to breed a Manaphy or another Phione. Okay. So, let's see. So, big connection to their homes, but they just kind of... And the way that it's worded makes it seem like there's many, many different Manaphy and Phione. Or Phiones. Which, I feel like that... I don't know. That's besides the point. They can breed with Ditto. That's not what I was expecting. That makes sense. Not what I was expecting to read in this video. Phione cannot evolve into Manaphy. Because... I guess I don't really understand. I thought they were two different Pokemon, but not evolutions of each other exactly. I don't know. They live in the inflation sac. How do you use the inflation sac to search for food? That's what I don't get. And they drift in packs, apparently. So, I mean, there's just like, it's like a whole species of them that lives beneath the water. Now, I'm gonna say they do not go to therapy. They just don't seem like they need it. They seem like they're real happy with their lives. Darkrai. Darkrai is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Sinnoh region. It chases people and Pokemon away from its territory by causing them to experience deep, nightmarish slumbers. However, it is merely protecting itself. It means no harm. It is particularly active on moonless nights. Okay, so Darkrai is an interesting one. He lashes out at people as a self-defense mechanism. But he doesn't have necessary legitimate reasoning that we know of for him to act this way towards people or other animals or other Pokemon. Which makes me think that there must have been something that happened, and of course maybe this goes like into the deep lore of Darkrai, which I don't know. But there must have been something that happened long ago that caused it to become very distrustful of people and Pokemon in order for it to justify to itself to act this way. That's the point that we're at now. And so I would say that Darkrai likely needs a lot of time in therapy to figure out exactly what it was, narrow it down, and learn how to move on from it. You know, learn how to live with it. Learn to reach a place where he can function normally, I guess is the word I'd use. He's going to spend many years in therapy. That's what I'm going to say. Next, we have Shaymin. It's a funny name. Shaymin is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Sinnoh region. Shaymin live in flower patches and avoid detection by curling up to look like a flowering plant. Shaymin are able to dissolve toxins in the air to transform ruined land into a lush field of flowers. When sensing gratitude, the flowers all over its body burst into bloom. When exposed to the blooming Gracidia flower during the daytime, Shaymin becomes sky form Shaymin. Shaymin will revert to its land form at night while frozen, or before Generation 7 when deposited into a Pokemon storage system. Okay, so let's see. I don't think the Shaymins are going to need therapy. I think they're just a little bit too happy for that. Because, literally they sprout flowers all over their body when they sense that somebody is grateful. Yeah, they do not go to therapy. And I'm guessing, wait a second, is this? Yeah, this is like the evolved form, which it doesn't say anything about this one. So, yes, but they don't go to therapy. Arceus. Arceus is like the actual, like, fucking creator god of the Pokemon universes. The way it was explained to me. So, just like, dude, I don't know. It's like it reminds me of the line from Spy Kids 2, where Steve Buscemi's like, you think that's why God stays in heaven? Because he too lives in fear of what he has created? Like, do you think that Arceus needs therapy over this universe that he has apparently created? It says, Arceus is a normal type mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Sinnoh region. According to mythology, Arceus emerged from an egg before the universe even existed and then shaped the world with its 1,000 arms. Arceus' signature ability, Multi-Type, allows it to change its form and type depending on which plate it holds. This will also change the type of its signature move, Judgment. As the creator of the Lake Guardians and the Pokemon of Myth, it is often viewed by fans as the leader of both trios. It is unique in this regard as it is the only mythical Pokemon to be considered the master of a legendary trio and the only Pokemon to be considered the master of two. He's like the literal creator god of everything, not just Pokemon, not just Earth, like everything. He could really be placed anywhere because you could just make up any argument for why he does or does not need therapy. It's just like, I don't fucking know. I bet he'll go once just to see what therapy is like. Just to see, see if he enjoyed that. Victini. Victini is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Unova region. It is said that this Pokemon brings victory and creates an unlimited supply of energy inside its body, which it shares with those who touch it. Victini is notable for appearing before the first partner Pokemon of its debut generation, giving it the Unova Pokedex number 000, a first in the Pokemon series. So, I feel like this can go one of two ways. You can just say that Victini is so confident and so optimistic and so happy, doesn't need therapy. Then you could also say that Victini is holding it all in, and he's faking it. You fake it till you make it kind of thing. And Victini is actually desperate for some therapy. I do not think that Victini needs therapy. Keldeo. Keldeo is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Unova region. Keldeo is also the fourth member of the Swords of Justice. In Black 2 and White 2, Keldeo gained a second form, its Resolute form. After triggering an event in the Pledge Grove, the other Swords of Justice will teach Keldeo Secret Sword. It will remain in its Resolute form as long as it knows Secret Sword. So I've seen the Terminal Montage, mythical and legendary Pokemon Battle Royale, and the only experience I have with Keldeo is there's like that scene where its horn grows really big, and one of the others like steps on it, and then the Pokemon does the Peter Griffin ow thing. It's funny. I don't know anything about this guy other than that. He's got a movie. I heard about that as well. He got a movie that's like kind of about Keldeo. I mean, it's so like I guess its horn can grow really big, and it sort of uses its horn as a weapon. It's like a unicorn kind of thing, which is pretty cool. Maybe, kind of. I think Keldeo would need to go to therapy for how like forgettable or something. I don't know. Like, because I don't know. Keldeo will go a few times. Just put him right in the middle. Meloetta is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Unova region. Meloetta has two different forms, Aria form and Pirouette form. Legend says that it once played a song and danced so lightly it filled people's hearts with joy. However, when sorrow darkened the world, it lost the melody. Using Relic Song changes its form. Okay, so this one's more understandable. So, when Meloetta is happy, or when the world is happy, Meloetta will dance and it'll fill people's hearts with joy. But whenever everybody else is sad, Meloetta is also sad. So, this is like some regular ass people situation. Like, if my mom is feeling down and I see her being down, I'll also be down. Like, and I would want to go to therapy over certain things of that variety. Which is why we should be spending many years in therapy. Genesect. Genesect is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Unova region. Originally an ancient insect Pokemon who is feared as the strongest of hunters more than 300 million years ago. Team Plasma revived it from a fossil in an attempt to create the strongest Pokemon in existence. However, after learning of the project, N had it cancelled along with P2 Laboratories shut down because he felt that Pokemon, who he thought to be perfect beings, would lose their beauty if modified by science. A scientist named Dudley secretly kept working on it, angry that N denied his talent. This scientist reconstructed Genesect and installed a cannon on its back. Genesect uses special drives to make variations to its signature move, Technoblast. So Genesect it's basically an android, like an android cyborg kind of thing, where it was this great hunter a really long time ago, and then it got revived, and it got some robot parts added to it. So under the assumption that Genesect can feel like feels the trauma and like, you know, wishes that it didn't have these robot parts and all that other stuff. Yeah, I'd be pretty bummed out about that too. Yeah, he's gonna spend the rest of his life in therapy over being turned into a robot against his will. That's exactly, yeah, that's that. Yeah. Diancie. Diancie is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Kalos region. While never shown in the games, it is said to be the result of a carbink. What the fuck? That underwent a mutation. It can create diamonds to protect itself. It is the only mythical and Generation 6 Pokemon with the ability to Mega Evolve, which allows it to transform into Mega Diancie. So I guess we've probably got, yeah, I guess that's Diancie and Mega Diancie. So the only, let's see. It's the only, so it says it's the only mythical to have a Mega Evolution. Which I remember watching people play like Pokemon Y and seeing like Mega Evolutions for the first time, and that shit was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. Let's see. I don't know what Diancie would have to be sad about, because Diancie can literally make diamonds, which means that Diancie would be absolutely fucking rolling in the money if it cared about financial gain. If it had a trainer, that trainer would certainly be able to sell its diamonds for financial gain. Just like make a really good one, sell it for $1 million, and then not do anything for a few years, like that kind of thing. Yeah, they don't. I mean, Diancie does not go to therapy. Diancie. Hoopa. Hoopa is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Kalos region. Hoopa has two forms: confined form and unbound form. It is said to be able to use its gold rings to warp space in order to take things it likes and carry them away into alternate dimensions. Using an item known as a prison bottle, Hoopa confined can transform into Hoopa unbound and remain so for 3 days, after which it transforms back to Hoopa confined. It will also transform back if deposited in the PC. What does Hoopa unbound do? Like, yeah, what does Hoopa unbound do? Does it gain some extra powers? I mean, it looks crazy. Look like that bitch turned into a monster. Okay, well, whatever. Hoopa's a trickster. That's what I know about Hoopa. And Hoopa is just like a little shit. Like, it steals things. It's always hopping through dimensions. I don't know if it can time travel exactly. I don't know if that's like a sort of thing with wormhole travel. I wouldn't guess so, but it's Pokemon, We've already got other Pokemon who can time travel. It's not outrageous to say that one more can. I mean, no, Hoopa does definitely not need therapy. I think all the people that Hoopa stole from probably need therapy, but Hoopa does not need therapy. Right, Volcanion. Mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Kalos region. It uses steam from arms on its back to disappear in fog and blow away mountains. It lives in mountains uninhabited by humans. According to the editor of the Lumiose Press, Volcanion may have an organ unique to it inside its body that is hot enough to instantly vaporize water into steam to use in attacks. There is also a report that suggests that Volcanion may have used its power to destroy a mountain range where Kalos was founded. So it's just like an angry motherfucker blowing up mountains with shit on its back. Which is like, okay, what we can say at this point is, an issue that comes up is a lot of people who lash out in anger or other similar things are generally holding in trauma that they usually feel that they can only release through physical violence. And that's when you get into people who, like, they punch walls, they'll hit themselves, whether that's a coping mechanism that's used to prevent them from hurting others, or if it's just a easy way for them to get it out, even if it's not a beneficial way. That's still what we get into. So what I'm thinking here is that Volcanion may have some pent-up aggression caused by previous events in life that have left it angry, is what you could say. And so I think that Volcanion needs to spend some time in therapy learning how to deal with its anger in a more constructive and less violent and possibly dangerous manner. So we're going to say that Volcanion is going to spend some years in therapy. Let's see. Magarna is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Alola region. It is artificially made, created by a scientist for a king's daughter 500 years ago. Its body contains tricky machinery and acts as a vessel with a secret hidden inside its chest. Its core, known as a soul heart, is its true body, an artificial soul. Magarna has the ability to understand emotions and feelings with people. Magarna has a second form known as its original color form, which is purely cosmetic. This form is stated to be the original appearance when it was presented to the king's daughter. So, it's the image here basically shows Magarna being like a maid. So Magarna is just like, it's just meant to be a friend for the king's daughter, but of course that was 500 years ago. So as to what it's doing now is, I don't know. But it has the ability to understand emotions, which means it must have the ability to feel emotions itself, is what I'm thinking. And so I think that, when you have intense, it's the great question of like why you would never really want to be immortal, because you have to just go and live for a really long time. You're forced to watch all of your loved ones die. You make relationships with people and you enjoy it, and then it's just this constant cycle of death that you'll never be rid of because you're immortal. You can't die. And so I imagine that's sort of what the case with Magarna is. Magarna likely has trauma or pent-up emotions relating to seeing the people that it cares about disappear out of its life, and possibly being alone for a long time, being forced to make new relationships that also end up falling apart for one reason or another, whether it's death or some other thing like that. And so, under the assumption that Magarna can feel emotions and would be affected by trauma, Magarna would also spend some good time in therapy. That's what I think. Next, we have Marshadow. Mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Alola region. Its very existence is the stuff of myth, as few people have ever seen it. Marshadow is known to travel through the shadows of humans and Pokemon in order to become stronger by copying the power of movements within said shadows. It has a second form, known as Zenith Marshadow, which is triggered when its fighting spirit starts burning. Okay. So, it looks like Marshadow is kind of just, maybe not antisocial, but is just not very good at making its presence known. I don't know if it can only exist in shadow, or if it just prefers to stay in the shadows. Maybe Marshadow goes like a few times just to maybe talk some things over, figure out if there's something else going on here. Zeraora is an electric type mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Alola region. Zeraora was first introduced in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Can channel a powerful magnetic field through the electrical currents located in its paw pads. The magnetic field allows it to levitate and fly through the sky and travel as fast as a lightning strike. Well, that sounds awesome. Here's the thing. If I could teleport to my job, I would. Not because it's faster, necessarily, but like, I don't have to worry about my car breaking down. I don't have to get gas anymore. I don't have to worry about, like, filling up my tires with air whenever it gets low. Like, yeah, I'm saving time, but think about all the money that I'm saving by not having to drive a car. Think about that shit for a second. That's besides the point. Right. Zero Aura seems like it's just got great stuff going on. I do not think that this motherfucker needs therapy. God damn it. Okay. Meltan and Melmetal. So Meltan and its evolved form Melmetal are a pair of mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Kanto region. Their pair was introduced in the core series in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, although it first appeared in Pokemon Go by way of large numbers of Ditto disguised as Meltan. Later revealed that Meltan can evolve into Melmetal. Meltan is known to be curious and expressive. It is God damn it. Hold on, gotta find it again. Shit. It is instinctively drawn to metal that it could dissolve and absorb, including other Meltan. This behavior allows them to combine and evolve into Melmetal. Melmetal was worshipped in ancient times for creating metal. After its lifespan reached its end 3,000 years ago, it turned into several Meltan. However, its worshippers stored the Meltan in mystery boxes where they can be kept safe until they fuse into a Melmetal once again. So, let's see. Curious and expressive. And, you know, they just love absorbing things that are made of metal. So, it seems like fun. It seems like it seems like it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would necessarily have like trauma to deal with, unless maybe you could make an argument that the Meltans that got locked away in the boxes kind of got like fucked up in the head because of that experience. And you know, so I mean, we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. We're gonna say they go once. All the forms go once. Zarude. Zarude is a mythical Pokemon first discovered in the Galar region. It can use the vines from its body for a variety of purposes, such as healing. It is known to live in packs, residing in dense forests. Zarude has a quick wit, which it uses in battle along with its claws and other means of attacking. Okay. It's basically like a tiger monkey. That's what the image looks like. Because it's got in the I have it on my phone here, but so it grows vines out of its body, which it can use for things like healing. It lives in packs in dense forests, and it's quick on its feet. Shit. It's quick on its feet. So it has methods of attacking, but it's also smart. Okay, so he just looks like a smug asshole, and smug assholes don't get to go to therapy. That's what I say. And finally, we have Pecharunt. First discovered in Kitakami, produces binding mochi, which it feeds to other Pokemon and humans. Nice guy. Mochi draws out one's desires and potential abilities, but those who taste it become chained to Pecharunt's will. Pecharunt is the master of the Loyal Three. It met Okidogi, Munkidori, and Fezan DPD on separate occasions, using its binding mochi and toxic chains to not only tame them, but also transform them into the legendary Pokemon known in the present day, granting them their wishes, strength, cleverness, and beauty respectively, and turning them into its retainers. It led the trio to Kitakami to steal Ogerpon's masks for its caretakers back home. After heavily injuring Ogerpon's partner and stealing 3 of their masks, Ogerpon became enraged and engaged the trio in combat, defeating and slaying them. Unable to defend itself, Ogerpon defeated Pecharunt as well, but it managed to survive by retreating into its shell, rolling deep into the forest. Oh, so it's like a ball. It's like okay, so this is it. And it's like got this ball thing that it can like hide inside of. He just looks really sad. That's what I immediately noticed. He looks like he's sad. But based on what I just read, it also seems like it's all a lie. or like it's all a trick. And so it's this thing of it's a manipulator. It's a manipulator. It manipulates you into doing whatever it wants by promising to give you these things that you want. But after you get those things that you want, you are no longer in control of yourself, more or less. Saying because it said that you become tied to Pecker Runt's will after you eat the mochi. So if you don't have an issue with always being in service of another person, then maybe eating the mochi is for you. But what I would say is maybe Pecker Runt needs to spend some time in therapy to talk to a therapist about its, manipulative tendencies, why it does it, if there is a reason, if there's something else going on, maybe something more psychological, maybe there's some, is there some trauma to work through, that sort of thing. Maybe you can figure out a way to draw out people's potential and make friends with them without manipulating them. That maybe. I'm going to say that he's going to spend many years in therapy. But here you have it. This is our official ranking for which mythical Pokemon would spend the most time in therapy. If you all enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe to the channel to see more content just like this in the future. Share this video with your friends because this is important knowledge for them to know. Leave a like on this video to have it more stuff recommended to you in the future. I will be starting a Patreon at 500 subscribers. So, as I said, if you're interested in that, it's only going to cost $1 a month. You get access to an exclusive video on the Patreon every Sunday, plus a shout out at the end of every single video that comes out here on the channel. And finally, leave a comment down below letting me know what ranking you want to see in the future. Channel is called, it can be anything. Channel is called Rank Everything. Once again, thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good one.